Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first YouTube Live for World Storytelling Week 2026. My name is Bekah Brinkmeier, and I am one of our author coaches here at AutoCrit. And I am just so excited to get to spend an entire week talking just about storytelling. So to kick us off for this Monday morning, I would love to talk about why humans need stories. So let's get into it and get ready for a fantastic week of storytelling. So, thousands of years ago, we, presumably sat around fires to stay safe from the dark. We didn't just share food, we shared stories. We told each other which berries may be poisonous, sure, but we also told stories about the stars, about heroes, and about why the wind blows. Fast forward to 2026, the fires now tend to be glowing smartphone screens and e-readers, but the hunger for story hasn't changed. Welcome again to World Storytelling Week. I kind of wanted to start us off with this little bit of a pep talk because sometimes I think when you're staring at like a Google Doc or at your manuscript and it's 2 a.m. and it just feels like you're moving your words around, it just can be hard to get a hold of the fact that you are a storyteller because it feels like you're lost in the mechanics of it all. What you're actually doing in that moment is engaging in one of the most essential human acts that there is. It is the act of telling stories. And so, in honor of World Storytelling Day, which happens pretty much every year around March 20th, at AutoCrit, we decided to make World Storytelling Week into a free event where we will have pep talks like this. We'll have some writing workshops. We will have writing sprints, both inside of AutoCrit and here on YouTube, and just a whole lot of free events for writers from every corner of the world or different stages of their journey can join together and celebrate the art of storytelling. Okay, so let's talk about why we as humans can't stop telling stories. It's actually hardwired into our brains. Scientists call it neural coupling. When you tell a story, the listener's brain waves start to mimic yours. You are literally syncing your mind with another person. It's really cool. Stories are our simulator. They allow us to experience fear without danger, love without heartbreak, and failure without ruin. We need stories. Here, now more than ever, we need to make sense of chaos. Life is a series of random events, and stories give those events a beginning, a middle, and a meaning. We also look at this from the standpoint of empathy. A story is the only way to truly live 1,000 lives in one lifetime. Think about your TBR pile or your recently read pile when you're looking at the kinds of stories that you consume. If you're looking at mine, it's going to be full of romance and epic fantasy. Some days I'm riding on a dragon, fearlessly conquering the world. Other times I am in a cabin in a snowstorm. Wherever it is that your books take you, this is an opportunity for you to live 1,000 lives in one lifetime. And then finally, we have connection. In a world that feels increasingly divided, a well-told story is a bridge that reminds us that we all feel the same fundamental things: fear, hope, the desire to belong. These are all things that connect us around the world, and we are connected through story. Now, I get this question inside of AutoCrit a lot from some of our authors that are saying, I don't know if I am qualified to be a storyteller, or I don't know if there's anything new that I can say or write because everything has already been said and every plot has already been used. And why on earth, would anyone need my version of this? And to them, I say, everything has not been said, and it certainly has not been said by you. Think about your favorite trope. Now, I write romance, so I'm going to think of something like enemies to lovers. It's a fan favorite, and it's one that I love to write, and I write all the time. There are millions of books out there that use the trope enemies to lovers, but new books using that same trope come out every single day, and they sell. Why? Why do they sell? Because the reason a reader might buy a new enemies to lovers book is because they want to see that trope again. They want to see it through a new interpretation. They want to see it through a new voice. And that voice could be yours. You know, voice is one of those interesting things as a creator, as a writer. I don't think it's just words. When I think about what my voice is as a storyteller, I think about my sense of humor. I think about the things I've experienced throughout my life. I think about my kind of specific way of viewing the world and my own brand of hope and optimism and strange, quirky little one offs and one liners. That is who I am. That is my voice. And if I don't write that story, that enemies to lovers story in my voice, then that specific intersection of my human experience with my desire to tell a story, it will never see the light of day. And that is just a simple fact. So I look at this as an opportunity. Everyone can be a storyteller. Everyone already is a storyteller. And I want us all to be out there sharing our versions and our stories. Okay, so why should we tell this? I like to think of 3 reasons here. One is, and I say this all the time, but someone out there might need that story. Whether you're writing a love story with themes of loss and grief and heartbreak and redemption, or you're writing a sci-fi that has all kinds of exploration and alien life forms, or maybe you're writing a self-help nonfiction book where you are going to take the experiences that shaped you and put them in a storytelling method in order to help other people. Maybe you write historical fiction from the perspective of some forgotten members of history, some forgotten voices. Whatever it is that you write, someone out there is looking for that story. The next reason why I always encourage people to tell their story is because you can find yourself in your story. I write genre fiction, and I think one of the coolest things that I get to do as a storyteller is I get to put a little bit of myself into each of my stories. I do not live in the same way that my heroes and heroines live, but I get to process the world in a different way. I get to work things out through my characters. And I think that's so cool. And I love that that is part of storytelling. And then there's the fact that when we share our stories with the world, we are part of a lineage of stories, right? Like we are participating in this deeply human act of storytelling and sharing, and maybe it's for entertainment, maybe it's for education, maybe it's for edutainment. Whatever it is, we are participating in this global, cross-cultural, cross timelines type event. We are sharing our words and our thoughts and our stories. And I think that more than anything else, to be able to participate in that, to be able to be part of this kind of tradition is so incredibly important. So for our mission this week for World Storytelling Week, I want us to focus not on just writing like a masterpiece. I want us to participate. I want us to be honest. I want you to join in the events that make sense for you. All of them will be recorded. So if you can't attend live, I want you to attend and make your storytelling a priority this week. Whether you are just trying to write your first book, whether you're deep in edits for book number 12, or somewhere in between, I want you to take this opportunity as part of World Storytelling Week and get some words in, join in the workshops, surround yourself with people who understand that being a writer is more than just a hobby, it's who you are as a person. And if you're feeling stuck, I want you to give yourself permission to tell yourself and tell your imperfect story, to understand that the first draft is simply a foundation that you can build upon. As we like to say here and everywhere in the author community, you can't edit a blank page, but you can definitely fix a messy one. We need to focus this week on getting those words down. So finally, as I wrap this up, the world is listening and we can't wait to hear what you have to say. My name is Bekah Brinkmeier, and I will see you at the next writing sprint or pep talk. I want to wish you a very happy World Storytelling Week from myself and all of us at AutoCrit. And I hope to see you in any of our upcoming events. You can still register for our event itinerary and to be notified at the link in our caption, which is www.autocrit.com/world-storytelling-day-2026. See you at the next one. Bye, friends.